violence.
Put your hands behind your back.
You got handcuffs?
In a dramatic turn of events, reported by our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has found himself back in custody following an impromptu court hearing. Initially facing a modified sentence, Davis will now serve the remaining 3 months of his jail term. Local news outlet WJZ is actively seeking clarification on why the sentencing decision shifted so abruptly. This development adds yet another layer of complexity to Davis's already turbulent journey, one marked by legal troubles and a recent courtroom collapse that stunned onlookers. The Baltimore courtroom has become a familiar stage for the boxing champion, who was recently charged on 2 separate counts. The first charge stemmed from a hit-and-run incident that occurred years ago, a case that has lingered unresolved due to what some describe as Davis's cavalier attitude toward his penalties. He narrowly escaped harsher sentencing on that occasion. However, the courtroom drama escalated when Davis suddenly collapsed, an incident attributed by some to the stress of facing fresh consequences for yet another probation violation. This episode, coupled with the resurfacing of his older legal woes, painted a picture of a man teetering on the edge of catastrophe. Adding fuel to the fire, bribery allegations have surfaced, casting a shadow over Davis's last fight. A leaked recording captured a conversation between Davis and referee Steve Willis, sparking heated debates about possible misconduct during the bout. While the evidence suggested something improper may have transpired, Davis's legal team countered that the New York State Athletic Commission had dismissed the case, rendering it null and void in their eyes. Despite this defense, the controversy continues to simmer, with fans and analysts dissecting every angle of the situation. The spotlight has returned to Davis's March 1st showdown at the Barclays Center in New York, where he defended his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. What many anticipated to be a routine victory for the Baltimore native turned into a gripping, contentious battle. Roach, a formidable underdog, held his own throughout the fight, leading to a pivotal moment in the 9th round that has since become the subject of endless discussion. Davis unexpectedly took a knee and retreated to his corner, prompting confusion in the ring and among viewers. Referee Steve Willis began a count, but ultimately stopped, declining to rule it a knockdown. Davis later attributed the incident to grease from his hair seeping into his eye, a claim that divided opinions. The fight concluded in a majority decision draw, with the judges' scores reflecting the closeness of the contest, 115-113 in favor of Davis, and 2 scores of 114-114. Had the 9th round been scored as a 10-8 for Roach due to a knockdown, the challenger might have walked away with the WBA lightweight crown. Roach, visibly frustrated, urged the referee to keep counting in the moment and later expressed his bewilderment at Davis's retreat. "I saw him get up and go to the corner," Roach recounted. "I'm like, what is going on? I want this to be a knockdown because it should be." Roach's team swiftly lodged an appeal with the New York State Athletic Commission, arguing that the referee's decision or indecision cost them the victory. However, the commission upheld the original ruling, leaving the result unchanged. Far from deflated, Roach has seized the moment to fuel his confidence, continuing to call out Davis at every opportunity. The boxer's boldness has only grown, as he remains adamant that a rematch is the logical next step to settle the score definitively in the ring. The fallout from the fight has spilled into the digital realm, with Roach engaging in a heated online spat with fellow boxer Lorenzo Simpson, a Davis supporter who claimed that Tank would dominate in a rematch. Roach fired back, flexed his financial muscle by throwing down a $250,000 bet, daring Lorenzo Simpson to match it. "Show it to me. We good money, little guy," he taunted, igniting an online war of words. Hours later, Roach escalated the tension even further, taking to Instagram with a post highlighted by Ring magazine, one that subtly threatened Davis. "I showed that I was a pound-for-pound talent against a generational star," Roach wrote, reflecting on the controversial March 1st fight. "I can't wait to run it back and put on a show again." Roach's belief in his own pound-for-pound status isn't without merit. The 9th round incident, whether a result of a punch or, as Davis insists, hair grease, earned him widespread praise. While some accepted Davis's explanation, others lauded Roach for pushing the champion to his limits and proving that he belonged on the sport's biggest stage. His confidence has only been reinforced by recent rankings. Ring magazine dropped Davis from its pound-for-pound list, replacing him with Devin Haney, while ESPN now ranks Roach at number 6 in the highly competitive 135-pound division. Such recognition has undeniably inflated the challenger's ego, further fueling his desire for a second showdown with Davis. Meanwhile, Davis has adopted an uncharacteristic silence. Known for his brash, trash talk, and bold social media presence, the 30-year-old has refrained from engaging in the verbal sparring that typically precedes his fights. While he initially expressed interest in a rematch, by late May, he had gone quiet, a move that suggests he's either plotting a calculated return or carefully weighing his next steps as retirement looms. Davis has hinted that he has only 3 or 4 fights left before hanging up his gloves, a timeline that raises questions about his priorities. While a rematch with Roach would certainly settle the controversy and restore his reputation, it may not align with his apparent goal of chasing the biggest paydays possible in his final bouts. Names like Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia loom as far more lucrative options for Davis. A rematch with Garcia, in particular, would not only guarantee a massive payday, but also give Davis a chance to reaffirm his dominance in a high-profile grudge match. With Roach aggressively pursuing a rematch and Davis remaining tight-lipped, the boxing world is left in suspense. Will Davis grant Roach another shot at redemption, or will he sidestep the controversy in favor of bigger financial opportunities? One thing is certain. The fallout from their first fight has only intensified, and fans are eager to see how the next chapter unfolds. A potential Davis-Garcia rematch could generate massive attention, but logistical hurdles stand in the way. Before any talk of a sequel, Ryan Garcia must first get past Rolando Raleigh Romero on May 2nd. If victorious, Garcia could then face Devin Haney, who is scheduled to fight Jose Carlos Ramirez that same night. This chain of events could significantly delay a Davis-Garcia rematch, leaving Davis to explore other options in the meantime. In a recent ESPN interview with Stephen A. Smith, Davis appeared more receptive to the idea of fighting Shakur Stevenson, despite previously dismissing the New York native as unaccomplished. The shift in Davis's stance suggests he is carefully weighing his options as his career nears its twilight. Stevenson, an undefeated technical master, has long called for a showdown with Davis, believing his defensive skills and ring IQ could neutralize Tank's explosive power. If Davis is serious about legacy fights, Stevenson presents a formidable challenge. Legal woes cast a shadow over Davis's career. Outside the ring, Davis's legal troubles continue to mount. Just days ago, a Baltimore judge spared him additional jail time after he admitted to violating probation stemming from his 2020 hit-and-run incident. Circuit Judge Althea M. Handy extended his probation by 18 months and ordered him to donate $1,000 to the Community Assistance Network instead of serving more time behind bars. The violation stemmed from Davis leaving Florida without court approval, only to be spotted dining in Baltimore by his probation officer on January 22nd. Judge Handy noted that Davis had previously been granted lenient travel permissions, including trips to the U.S. Virgin Islands and even the 2024 Paris Olympics, but emphasized the need for accountability. "I don't like sending anyone to jail," she told Davis, "but you need to wake up." Davis's legal troubles trace back to November 5, 2020, when he ran a red light in his Lamborghini Urus, crashed into a Toyota Solara, and plowed into a 7-Eleven fence. The accident left 4 people injured, including a pregnant woman. Initially sentenced to 90 days of home detention and 3 years of probation in 2023, Davis sparked outrage by serving that time in a Four Seasons hotel, and later a $3.4 million penthouse instead of his coach's home, as originally ordered by the court. His disregard for the ruling led to a now-deleted Instagram Live rant in which he accused Judge Handy of jailing him out of spite. "She's mad that I bought a property. That's why I'm sitting in jail," he fumed. During Wednesday's hearing, both of Davis's probation officers recommended jail time, citing his evasiveness and repeated disregard for court orders. However, his attorney, Hunter Pruitt, argued for leniency, highlighting Davis's community contributions and his completion of other probation requirements. Davis, in an attempt to explain his actions, told the court he had been training in Washington, D.C., and merely stopped in Baltimore for dinner. Judge Handy dismissed his claim, stating bluntly that he had been out celebrating rather than training. After deliberation, she ultimately decided against jail time but issued a final warning. "I don't want to see you in this courtroom again, unless you're becoming an attorney." March 1st. Fight still a hot topic. While Davis's legal troubles continue to make headlines, his March 1st fight with Lamont Roach remains a sore spot in the boxing world. Entering as a heavy favorite, Davis was expected to secure his 29th knockout in front of a raucous Brooklyn crowd of 19,250. Instead, Roach's resilience turned the bout into a grueling war of attrition, leaving fans stunned. Davis's slow start, typically a trademark of his style, nearly cost him the fight as Roach remained composed under pressure. The most controversial moment came in the 9th round when Davis unexpectedly took a knee and retreated to his corner, causing confusion among fans and commentators. Referee Steve Willis initially started a count, but abruptly stopped, opting not to rule it a knockdown. Davis later blamed the moment on grease from his hair dripping into his eye, but Roach and his team vehemently disagreed. "If that's a knockdown, I win the fight," Roach asserted in his post-fight interview. Statistically, the fight was razor close. Davis landed 103 of 279 punches, while Roach connected on 112 of 400. Two judges scored the bout 114-114, while the third slightly favored Davis at 115-113. ESPN's unofficial scorecard also matched the draw at 114-114. "Lamont is a great fighter," Davis conceded after the fight. "He's got skills, punching power. Hopefully we can run it back." For Roach, while the decision was frustrating, he took the night as a moral victory. "I thought I pulled it out," he said. "It's a win for me in my book. But we need a real W." What's next? The boxing world awaits. As the dust settles, the boxing community eagerly awaits Davis's next move. A rematch with Roach would not only provide closure, but could also boost Davis's credibility after such a controversial outcome. However, Davis's silence in recent weeks and his hints at retirement leave the door open for other possibilities. With only 3 or 4 fights left in his career, as he has stated, his focus may be on bigger paydays rather than revisiting unfinished business. A rematch with Garcia remains lucrative, but depends on Garcia clearing his upcoming hurdles against Romero and potentially Haney. Meanwhile, Stevenson, a fighter many believe could truly test Davis's skill set, looms as an intriguing alternative. For now, both Davis and Roach stand at a crossroads. Their careers remain intertwined by a night that left more questions than answers. Will Davis opt to silence his doubters by running it back with Roach, or will he chase bigger names and bigger paydays? One thing is certain: the controversy surrounding the March 1st fight ensures that whatever happens next, the boxing world will be watching.